This part here is just background information to give you an idea of what the first 5 verses was talking about. This is places, and this is a listing of actual people that is mentioned in the book within the first 5 verses. Feel free to put this on pause and be able to read it. Thank you. GLN 2:6. When the ear of the Spirit was opened in Aloma, and she returned to her people, and became the interpreter of God. In the days when some men left to dwell among the children of men, others came to Aloma and said, Behold, men leave and we become weak, while the children of men become strong. And this be the will of our Father? Then Aloma called upon God, and he heard her cry, and said unto her, Let your spirit be at peace, for things happen as they will. It is the grain being winnowed from the chaff. It is always easier for men to follow the ways of the flesh than the ways of the Spirit. Yet the deeper man descends into the vale of earthly things, the harder the climb out to the heights of glory. A generation to go down, 10 generations to rise again. Man must struggle or degenerate, but the path of pleasure is pleasant, while the path of progress is beset with pain and strife. Verse 2:6 mentions times of difficulty is grain being winnowed from the chaff, meaning those that gave up is deemed as not ready for what is needed for the future. It is always easier to follow the ways of the flesh than the Spirit, and the deeper man descends into the vale of earthly things, the harder the climb out will be. A generation equals 10 generations to rise again. My translation: what effort you put into something will decide what you get out of it. The easy path gives you very little positive. However, the struggle will increase your ability to cope with the new challenges that are coming up. GLN 2:7. God said to Aloma, his servant, Behold, I have been good to my children. They have been given everything that is pleasant. Everything has come easily to their hand. The lot of the children of men is more harsh, and yet they prosper. Childish things are expected from a child, but when it grows up, more is anticipated. Yet still my children come to me as children. The children of God has been given everything pleasant. However, the children of men has a more harsh path, yet they prosper. And that's basically saying that you get what you put into it, and if you do very little, then you'll get very little back because you won't learn anything. GLN 2:8. God then said, Go, return to the place from whence you came, and remain there for 7 years. And she did so. The 7 years passed. Aloma returned to the people, and behold, the fertile fields were unsown. The water channels were dry, and there was desolation in the midst of the waters. Aloma sought among the fields, and when she came upon the habitations, her heart was rent apart, for she saw the daughters of the children of God consorted with the sons of the children of men, and would become unlike true women. Then Aloma said to them, Wherefore has this thing come about? And they answered, Behold, men came from out of the wilderness, and our men were like sheep before wolves. See, even now they labor within a pen of servitude. Aloma then went unto the men and said, Wherefore has this thing come about? They answered her, Behold, the God of the children of men is unlike ours, a God of battles, and we were delivered into their hands. The suffering of the children of God is not under the whips of man, but the hammer of God. God reiterates here, He is not the God of men, but God of souls. My translation, His focus is on the health of the soul and is not concerned with anything that is the flesh. GLN 2:9. Then Aloma was heavy of heart, and called upon God, saying, Behold the plight of your children. And God heard her, and answered, I am not indifferent, for their sufferings are my sufferings. They are not under the whips of men, but under the flail of God. The grain is being separated from the chaff. They toil not under the blows of men, but under the hammer of God. They are not imprisoned, but are upon an anvil. I am not the God of battles, not the God of nations, not even the God of men. I am the God of souls, the keeper of the treasures of eternity. I have not turned away from my children. My children have turned away from me. Disobeying my laws, this cry will echo down through the generations of man. My God, why have you deserted me? And it will come from those who have deserted their God. He says those disobeying his laws will cry, My God, why have you forsaken me? It will be from those who have deserted God who cries that. The translation is, Earth is for you to learn, not a vacation. Sometimes struggle is more difficult, but if you learn the lesson, you won't have to take that test again.